This is the new third generation of the Honda Amaze, and Honda likes to call it as all new, but it is not, because the engine, the wheelbase, a lot of other parts have been carried over. In fact, it feels more like a facelift than an all new model. Honda also likes to call it as outclass, meaning it is the best in class. However, it is not, because a lot of stuff is missing at this price point. The top end variant goes to almost rupees 13 lakhs. Yes, this is an expensive car. But before we start, let me show you this awesome car perfume from Involve Your Senses. This is the Invol Gel Atlantis. It's a fruity, watery, aqua fresh soothing fragrance. It's just amazing. It brings instant freshness in the car. It has got dry fresh technology, so it obviously lasts long. Super easy to regulate, okay? And then I've opened it. It does not leak at all, and you can get yours with a 10% discount using coupon code FASTBEAM. In fact, you can get it in the next 10 minutes by ordering it on Zepto as well. Check the link in the pinned comment to get yours straight away. Now coming to the Amaze, I was telling you it's become more expensive. The thing is, the price is similar to the Dzire. However, for the automatics, it is 88,000 more when compared to the Dzire, because we don't have an AMT gearbox here. Yes, we have a CVT. I never knew that day would come where I would praise a CVT, but when compared to an AMT, I'm doing that. Yes, we got Faisal Khan promoting CVT before GTS 6. Anyways, coming to the key of the car, a lot of stuff has actually come from other Honda cars, namely the City as well as the Elevate. The key is the same as other Honda cars actually. Unlock the car, lock the car, and this is to open the boot of the vehicle. However, if you opt for the CVT, you also have a button to turn on the car from the remote as well, which is quite good. Now the front design will remind you of the Elevate, so inspired from the Elevate at the front, same as say the Amaze, the older Amaze from the side, and very similar to the City from the rear. So yeah, everything has been shared here. But the car actually feels quite premium. A lot of stuff has been added. Straight away, let's look at something which is very interesting here, because there's a 4-cylinder engine. Can you believe it? 4 freaking cylinders in a car. Oh my god, when did that happen? Yeah, everyone is going for 3 cylinders. So Honda offering 4 cylinders has now become a USP. I never knew that day would come where I would be praising a car for having 4 freaking cylinders. This is where washer fluid goes in. There is no insulation here. They've not even bothered to paint it. So that's the kind of cost cutting Honda has done, and bang, closes the hood. The design actually looks quite nice. They've made certain changes to the car, like the headlights, which had one projector LED, now has 2 of them. This is actually the indicator. It's actually the DRL, but it also converts into the indicator. Chrome is a Honda favorite, so there's obviously the chrome here, and the LED DRL is right here. It continues to have LED fog lamps, a nice feature to have actually. And this grille treatment is actually known as the checkered flag treatment. The big Honda logo right there, and that is the towing hook. There's no radar here, but it gets level 2 ADAS, the most affordable car in India to get ADAS, because it's a camera based system. There is the camera for the ADAS systems, obviously. In terms of the size, it is the same as before. However, it is now wider by 38 mm. Meanwhile, the length is the same, the wheelbase is the same. In fact, the length is the same as the Dzire at 3995 mm. Yes, sub 4 meter car, but doesn't look sub 4 meter, because the design is really very nice. It doesn't feel abrupt at all like the first generation model. So yes, Honda has done a phenomenal job in terms of making the boot feel seamless with the whole car, obviously. Now, if you notice one thing, the ground clearance seems to be slightly more than the Dzire. How can you notice that? Because it's minutely more than the Dzire, because the ground clearance here is 172 mm. Yeah, it looks very similar to the older Amaze. The tire size here, 15 inches. In fact, it has got this diamond cut treatment on the alloy wheels. The tire size obviously looks small here. The size of the tires, 185 60 15, and they have not gone and painted anything here. There's no insulation around the wheel wells either. So yeah, this is plastic. So again, some sort of cost cutting has been done there as well. Indicator here, I like the way the mirror has been done, sort of sports car type. Chrome door handles, request sensors on both the sides. If you have the key in your pocket and you come close to the car, put your hand inside, it will unlock the car. A very cool thing. The wheelbase here is almost 2.5 meters, 2470 mm to be precise. In fact, it's just 20 mm more than the Dzire, but feels a lot more because of Honda's fantastic packaging and obviously the philosophy of man maximum, machine minimum. And that's the reason the interior space is also improved at the rear, which is again a very good thing. Yeah, it gets rear drums, which is sort of the case in this segment. Obviously, you get a shark fin antenna right there. And at the rear, it will kind of remind you of the City. It says iVTEC here. That is the indicator. Halogen, halogen. Meanwhile, this is LED, obviously. There's obviously a camera here. You get 2 parking sensors at the rear, and the exhaust is now hidden. Yeah, the exhaust is hidden here. Earlier, it was visible somewhere there. There's a reflected treatment as well. Straight away, let's open the boot, because the boot has actually become smaller now by 4 liters, but still the biggest in the segment at 416 liters, which is 34 liters more than the new Dzire. The loading lip is a bit too high. However, you do not get a spare wheel with an alloy. Smaller size as well. This is a 175/70/14. Although I can clearly see it can fit a bigger tire, but Honda is like, nahi, cost cutting bhi to karni padti hai. And obviously nothing is painted here. So that is the toolkit, and nothing else is there in the boot. That's it. Because obviously the rear seat cannot be folded. You get a high mounted stop lamp. This is nicely insulated. However, lot of exposed bits. There's a light here, but lot of exposed bits because the Dzire does it. Honda is like, hum bhi karenge na, obviously. Anyways, let's get inside. Before that, let me show you where fuel goes in. Now it is E20 compliant. It says minimum 91 octane. And the new tires, well, they are not that great in terms of grip, but we'll talk about that when we're driving the car, obviously. Space at the rear is actually quite impressive. So fantastic packaging. Door pockets are also decent sized here, but lot of hard plastics everywhere. Now Honda has added a center headrest, but whenever they add something, now they have to remove something. Now, so they have removed the pocket here, the seat back pocket. It's here, but earlier it was there as well. They've removed it. Rear AC vents have been added as well, but no rear USB charging sockets at all. You get a 12-volt charging socket here because the cabin is slightly wider. It's easier to fit in 3 people. However, it's not going to be very comfortable because the car is still not wide enough. Isofix child seat mount, a proper seat belt for the center passenger as well, and center passenger gets a head which he does not in the Dzire, but these are not adjustable headrests, so that again is cost cutting and not very good when you unfortunately have a rear end collision. So yeah, not the best in terms of safety. Now it gets 6 freaking airbags. Earlier it had only 2 airbags. There's a handle to hold on to on both the sides. No height adjustable seat belts, nicely scooped out. So foot room, knee room, leg room, all of that is actually impressive. Under-thigh support is not bad at all, and headroom is almost adequate for someone as tall as me. My Type R cap is actually making me taller, but yes, my cap is touching the roof. Hopefully the Type R touching the roof will improve the performance of this car, but no, it does not. That is the dashboard, which is from the Elevate. Not really, but it has been inspired from the Elevate. In fact, a lot of stuff is coming from other Honda cars. So Honda is like, you know what we'll do? We're going to do part sharing to a next level, which is very good because now you no longer need to desire for a city, you can aspire for an Amaze, because as you can see, this car now has the aura of Honda. No, I don't have any puns to play with the Tigor, I'm sorry. Anyways, yeah, fit, finish and all is decent. Not the best, but not bad at all. Let's get out. Not much to talk at the rear because space and all is actually impressive. Best in class easily. Good job, Honda. But doors don't open 90 degrees. Who really cares about that? There's a lane watch camera which has been added. Another feature which is premium and first in segment. However, the Dzire has a 360-degree parking camera. So this car has 2 less cameras. So Honda decided if you have to add features, maybe we will add ADAS instead of a sunroof. So this car does not get a sunroof. The Dzire gets a sunroof. Personally, I would pick a sunroof over ADAS. I'll tell you why. Because I think ADAS is not very useful in India, especially if you have a camera based system and not a radar based system. Meanwhile, door pockets are big enough at the front. Only the driver's side gets the illumination, which is basically one touch up and down, which is a nice thing. Controls for the power windows are here, and this is for the mirror adjustment. In fact, at the rear also you will notice, yeah, there's no marking. How much does that cost? I'll do it for you. I'll just get a marker pen and do it for you, don't worry. This is to open the hood. This is to open the fuel lid. There is no dead pedal, or there is actually, but it's not properly marked here. Traction control button, headlight leveler, and the steering wheel is adjustable only for height. This is the engine start button. A lot of it is actually definitely coming from the city, which is a good thing. And if you notice, it says side airbag here. Seats are very nice and comfortable. Honda does really nice seats, and this is obviously height adjustable as well. Let me quickly put this awesome car perfume from Involve Your Senses right here, because there are 2 cubby holes right here. In fact, the glove box is also decent sized, but I'm not too sure whether this is the first aid kit which comes with the car, because usually it is not exposed, but it is exposed here. Let me turn off the indicator and put this steering wheel on the top completely, and let's turn off the lights, because notice one thing, okay? As soon as I do that, this becomes brighter. There's a tweeter here. It gets a 6-speaker audio system which has 2 tweeters and 1 speaker on each of the doors. This is not auto dimming. You're giving me ADAS, but you can't give me an auto dimming mirror. Why would you do that, Honda? I expected better. Let's just keep it this way. Very premium, huh? This mirror and the way it works actually is very premium. It's obviously there on both the sides. Yeah, this does not extend, but yeah, this is premium. Lights here on the top, they call it the map pocket lights or whatever. However, what map am I going to read? Because obviously I'm going to rely on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, both of which are obviously wireless here. There's no center armrest, which is disappointing, but it's an accessory. It was an accessory in the previous Amaze as well, and this is actually big enough for storage. And there's no storage here, but they should have marked the gears, not so that I can read it, but it kind of looks unfinished without the marking, obviously. There's so much storage space here for multiple phones. You can keep one phone, another phone there. Two USB-A charging sockets, no USB-C. We are in 2024, no USB-C. When you're seeing this video, probably will be in 2025. That's the reason you have to actually keep something like this in the car and plug it in this power socket right here. Honda will offer you this as an accessory, by the way. Yeah, kind of makes no sense why you don't have a USB-C charging socket in this day and age. This feels a bit flimsy, which is usually the case with most of the cars in the segment now. Meanwhile, you can opt for ambient lighting as an accessory, which will have a ambient light bar here. You can opt for ventilated seats as an accessory along with massage as well. So a lot of accessories. All those accessories should have been part of standard equipment on the highest variant. This is a new Honda design, at least globally. This infotainment system which sticks out, very similar to the Elevate obviously. Screen size has increased from 7-inch to 8-inch. So yes, this is bigger, but it is a very boring screen. Like there's no UI fun to have here, because what do I go through? I'm pressing home. It has nothing. Like, okay, I clicked on the wrong button. The brightness and all, I was playing with the wrong thing. Let's turn on the screen. It's on. What is there? There's nothing odd. So let's quickly get into reverse. This is the reverse parking camera, and like before, it has got multiple views as well. Camera quality is decent. I'm not really going to complain about it because I think it's okay, it's fine, it's not bad at all. The only thing is this screen is very boring. There's nothing as such to browse through, no games to play. I mean, how can a screen be this basic? You can obviously go through a lot of stuff here. In fact, I'll just give a left indicator to show you the lane watch camera, which is obviously a very unique feature to have. Meanwhile, it feels like very dated already. Yaar. Come on, Honda, you can do a better infotainment system, because this one is just way too boring and not exciting at all. And there's a tire pressure monitor, but that is via the connected car app. I don't know, that doesn't make sense. It has obviously got connected car as well. I love the controls for the air conditioning. It's a single zone climate control air conditioning system, and yeah, these buttons are actually very nice to operate. Air conditioning is a chiller. They've added rear AC vents, and they say that the car has 42% better cooling now. In fact, the mechanism for the air conditioning, you can see a bit of that here, which sticks out on the passenger side. So yeah, they have made sure that the car is cooler now. Hazard light button. I like the way the AC vents have been done. In fact, I like the treatment on the dashboard. Obviously, a lot of hard plastic. This is also hard plastic. It doesn't look hard, but it is hard. I like the color scheme they've chosen, because this beige is obviously quite premium. You've got light here in the center. Obviously, steering wheel is coming from the Honda City. It's a premium steering. In fact, the Elevate also has the same steering, and you have got buttons for ADAS here. This is obviously for adaptive cruise control, and this is for the audio system and for voice commands and to change the track. It does not have automatic wipers. It does get automatic headlights, which it used to get before also. However, the change is now this thing is mapped to the wipers. So in case you use the wipers, now the lights will automatically turn on if it's on auto function, because the car realizes that you're using the wipers, which means there's a cloudy environment, which means it's a bit dull or dim. So it will automatically turn on the lights. That is smart Honda. The horn, really sad horn. This cluster is again coming from the other Honda cars. So this is actually a 7-inch screen here. So the speedometer is analog. Everything else is digital. In fact, this is to increase or decrease the brightness, same as the Honda City. And you know what? I've been telling again and again, a lot of parts are coming from other Honda cars. There's a button here for the lane watch. If I press this without giving an indicator, I can get into the lane watch mode. If I obviously give a left indicator, I can get into lane watch mode. Now let me quickly turn off the car. Where is the button to turn off the car? Yeah, it is on the right side. This actually blinks and pulsates. It's telling me check rear seats. In fact, now it has a rear seat warning for all the seats. Let's open the door. Let's now turn on the car, and there it does a full swipe up. Now it has the silhouette of the car coming here on the center screen, on the infotainment screen. Obviously, fasten seat belt using this. Oh, there's this welcome sound with the Amaze name and all those things. Yeah, nice animation. Yes, I always accept whatever you say. Now coming to this particular screen right here, there's something interesting I need to show you, because I can browse through a lot of information here. If I want the tacho mode, the range and fuel, you can see what is the fuel efficiency, 3.4 kilometers per liter. Faisal, how do you even manage doing such things? Speed time, there's a G meter as well in a Honda Amaze. It doesn't really go fast. And then you can see what are the seat belts which are not buckled up. You can get into safety support, which is basically for the ADAS system. You can get into settings and make a lot of changes to maybe the clock and all that. You can customize the display as well. I don't know how you do that. Yeah, you can decide what all you want to see. So yes, it has a lot of information and very slick to use, but I'll just keep it on the tacho thing because I don't want anything else coming in the tachometer's line of sight. Does it have a soft limiter? No, baby. It revs all the way to 6,500 RPM. That is VTEC power for you, but no 7000 RPM thrills like the city, because the city is a city is a city. In fact, you can turn off the wireless charging pad as well if you want, which means that the phone won't heat when you don't want to charge it, which is such a nice feature to have. This car also has a PM 2.5 air filter, and the rear center armrest has been carried over with twin cup holders. However, it doesn't feel as flimsy as before. Yes, it touches the seat, but doesn't feel as flimsy as before. But they could have further improved this as well. I've noticed another thing in this car, okay, a very quirky thing. Okay, it says check rear seats when you exit the car, that it has got this sort of an air curtain which pulls air from here and does better airflow management, I believe, but I don't know why it is there. The hood is open or what? Let me shut it. Yeah, you can just shut it like this, which is quite interesting. This car also gets a request sensor on the other side, which is quite cool because most cars don't offer this. Maruti offers it. Hyundai removed it some time back. Let me lock the car from here. So the car is locked right now. The mirrors should technically close. I think that feature is turned off right now. I come and I just put my hand and the car unlocks. Such a cool way of doing keyless entry. Anyways, how is it to drive? Let's start driving right away, because does it have the VTEC power, baby? Okay, it's time to start driving. Let me turn on the car. I like this swipe up thing which is happening. This also, now the sound will come. Before that, let's turn on our specialist timing gear. Not that it's going to be of any use today because there's no flat road here in Goa. Yes, nice welcome sound. Let's turn off the air conditioning. Let's quickly turn off the traction control as well. And okay, it should give me the warning what am I turning off, but then it's always telling me the seatbelt reminder, vehicle stability assist on and vehicle stability assist off. The traction control is not off, VSA is off. Why does it always ask me to accept this? Yes, I accept it. And now let's connect something here as well. So it's going to take a few minutes for that to connect. Meanwhile, let's come into reverse. This is the reverse parking camera, which does not have adaptive guidelines, which is a bit surprising. And this is so that you can also monitor the speeds. And now I've turned on Android Auto because there's nothing to see in this screen, which is so disappointing. And straight away into first and off we go. We smoothly roll out from here. Meanwhile, I also do the wiper test. There's one nozzle which puts out 3 sprays, which is quite cool, and immediately I'm going to appreciate the ride quality of this car because the ride is actually very smooth here, because of which I think a little bit speed and then all over the bumps, but the soft suspension does a fantastic job of absorbing the worst of road in its stride without much hesitation. So yeah, the ride quality is actually very nice here. So Honda has done a phenomenal job in terms of the ride of this car, and it's always been a good riding car in terms of comfort and all, so no complaints on that front. But complain on the front that there are exposed screws here. I don't know why they have exposed screws. That should definitely not be the case, but yeah, it has got those exposed screws. Very easy to drive, effortless to drive actually, because it's a very smooth car, just like how it has always been. Only thing is there's a bit of a long throw for the gearbox, for the gear lever. Other than that, I have nothing to complain about in terms of the way this car is to drive, because it's very smooth and refined a car to drive. And now I think we can probably do the acceleration test. So I'm going to stop here. Let's go for it. Okay, I'll admit the road is not big enough to do acceleration test, but at least we can do some wheel spins. Revving the motor, rev still 6,500 RPM. Listen to this, guys. There's just wheel spin, wheel spin, wheel spin, and a lot of wheel spin because it revs like crazy. Yeah, it revs so much, it revs really high. Around the corners, I'm disappointed by the steering feel, or rather the lack of it. Just feels a little lackluster. So in spite of the fact that this is a sedan, it doesn't feel so fun to drive, which is kind of unfortunate. Yeah, body roll is well contained. It's a sedan, so handling is good, but only thing is the steering feel isn't that impressive, and the mid-range is very lackluster here. So this is a 1.2 liter, 4 cylinders. Yes, it has got 4 freaking cylinders. Wow! Instead of 3, because the Dzire now has 3 cylinders, this still has the 4-cylinder engine, which means that it is not as efficient as the Dzire. Low end is actually good. Mid-range is flat. There's nothing in the mid-range as such, so it's a bit disappointing there. That's the reason you have to use the gearbox and make downshifts to get going fast. Focus. Yeah, so yeah, I was looking at the Honda Navi and I'm like, what a beautiful bike. Amazing bike. I've never seen such a beautiful looking Honda Navi. But anyways, and it overtakes also so beautifully well. Focus. Okay, focus. So like I was telling you, the engine is actually very smooth and refined, but becomes quite vocal. So in spite of a 4-cylinder engine, it is still not the most refined, because you can hear a lot of sound from the motor, especially when you rev it, and you have to rev it to get going fast. Engine has not been changed. Okay, let's just overtake so that we can focus better. 90 horsepower and 110 Newton meters of torque, which is the same as before, so no change on that front. 5-speed manual gearbox here, and the 7-speed CVT is good for convenience, but again, rubber band effect is there, but way better than an AMT box for sure. So performance is okay, it doesn't set your pants on fire. The VTEChness is not here, there. I mean, doesn't feel like a pure VTEC like the city does. However, VTEC does kick in at higher RPM, and that's the reason it redlines all the way at 6,600 RPM, where it feels that something is happening, that, you know, there's some sort of excitement. And the other, oh, there is an Elevate. This guy's so inspired by the Elevate. Like I was telling you, that the problem with this car is the sound insulation. I was not telling you that, but now I'm telling you this because they have cut costs by not using insulating material around the wheel arches, and that's why you hear a lot of the tire, a lot of the wind noise. You definitely hear a lot of the suspension noise as well. So it's not a very silent car in that sense. The engine is silent lower down, but once you rev it, it becomes quite vocal. So that's a bit of a problem. Ground clearance doesn't seem to be an issue here, which is actually a good thing, because usually ground clearance is a big issue with Honda cars. And then the mid-range is frustrating me. Gearbox is smooth to shift. The clutch is also on the lighter side. Yes, the throws are a little on the longer side here. That's the only disappointing part. Otherwise, I don't have much to complain. The turning radius is actually quite slick here, but only for the lower variants, because with the lower variants now, the turning radius is 4.7 meters. With the higher variant, it is 4.9 meters. Why does it differ? It differs purely because the higher variants have a 10 mm wider tire, 185 mm here. Otherwise, it's a 175 mm tire. So that obviously makes a difference. The Dzire is also very similar in terms of the turning radius, but the Dzire is actually lighter by around 20-25 kgs. So the weight of this car is around 980 kgs, so under a ton, which is actually good, right? Because light car, you can feel the lightness. It's nice to drive. It's not very fun to drive. The engine needs a turbo. Honda needs to bring in a turbo engine. Honda is the only manufacturer in India which does not have a turbo petrol engine only. Can you believe that? No turbo petrol engine. What is Honda doing? I have no idea, but every other car brand has a turbo petrol engine. Honda's like, no, we will give you NA. NA is good, but NA should have more power, baby. I know it's the most powerful in the segment because the Dzire has lost a lot of its power, which is quite unfortunate. But then Dzire is a taxi, the Amaze is not. People like to drive Honda cars, and the VTEC magic is not there like it is there in the city or the Elevate. So I'm not shouting on the top of my voice. Making a quick overtake can be done there. 6,600 RPM, red line, and wheel spin on upshift. Yes, it does wheel spin on upshift because, like I told you, okay, there's a bump and yeah, ride is good. Like I told you, traction control is on right now, VSC is off, but still it will wheel spin because of the like Chintu Mintu tires on this car, which is good for efficiency. In fact, claim numbers are somewhere, I think 18.46 somewhere for the manual. The CVT is slightly more efficient, but in the real world, expect 12 to 14 kilometers per liter, which is respectable for a petrol engine. They also offer CNG, not as factory fitment, as a dealer fitment, which makes no sense at all, because Maruti is offering Dzire with CNG right from get-go. If you don't have a diesel, you definitely have to offer a CNG from the factory, not as a dealer fitment, although they are like, we'll give you warranty. And in terms of warranty, 3 years unlimited kilometer warranty can be extended to 7 years unlimited kilometer warranty, can be further extended to 10 years 1.2 lakh kilometer warranty. So Honda does offer great warranty on its cars. The price range actually starts at 9.8 lakhs on road Mumbai, going all the way till 9.4 lakhs, the same as the Dzire, the starting price on road Mumbai, going to 12.98 lakhs for the top end variant. The Dzire is cheaper by 88,000 because it has an AMT, not a CVT, but in terms of manual variants, both of the prices are very similar. The manual is 1.59 lakhs cheaper because CVT box is a lot more expensive than say an AMT. And it's worth paying that additional amount for the CVT because shifts will be smoother. It also has paddle shifters. This car is actually available in 5 freaking colors. The brakes are actually decent. Lightweight now, so definitely helps. You're driving in a lot of traffic where an Amaze will mostly do its job because most people buy this car to drive it in the city. These people are quarreling over what? Guys, just move aside. This car has not yet got 5-star rating because it's not been tested, but internal tests from Honda suggest that this car will fare well in terms of safety. I'm not too sure whether it will or whether it will not, but as I see it, the driving experience is largely the same as before, so not much has changed on that front, which is a bit disappointing. The brakes, yeah, it is decent, but yeah, that tire noise is obviously, the tires are so eco here. Okay, hazard lights off, into first gear, and off we go. Wheel spin. Yeah, that's a lot of wheel spin. So Honda is offering 5 years of connected car free with this car, and the price of this particular variant which I'm driving, 11.39 lakh rupees. You're better off with the VX variant because who really needs ADAS? Yeah, level 2 ADAS camera based works fine, but obviously a camera based system is not as advanced as a radar based, which begs the question, do you want a sunroof or ADAS? I would say sunroof because ADAS is not really very useful in India. because people drive very erratically and then ADAS will kick in randomly, and ADAS also makes you a little lazy because you're like, gaadi rok degi, kyun karu? Otherwise you're very alert. So I honestly feel that ADAS doesn't work that well in India. I know a lot of people who have cars with ADAS, they shut it off the very first thing. In fact, the most revolutionary feature in newer cars is that you can shut off all the ADAS systems, and when you turn on the car, they will not turn on automatically. And people are like, wow, what an amazing feature. You're paying for it, but you don't want to use it anyways. So that's kind of baffling here, but it is what it is. So like I was telling you, the VX variant is the one to buy. Honda is like, our prices have increased because we no longer have the base E variant, and what they have done is they've actually changed the variant naming, because the base is not the V anymore, the E anymore, it's V, and there's VX, and then there's the ZX. Earlier there was no ZX, I believe. So but it's the same thing, whatever you call the variants. Eventually the top end is the one which is the most expensive always, because it has the most features. Naturally, I'm talking like that Formula 1 commentator. If you win the race, you come first. Every 60 seconds, a minute passes in Africa. Anyways, this car is available in 6 variants. 3 are for the manual and 3 are for the automatic, which means automatic is available in all the variants. And traditionally, Honda has seen more demand for the automatic. In fact, they say that a lot of the variants of the City sell with ADAS, because the City is available with ADAS from the second variant itself. Now, how do they cut cost and reduce weight of the car? Although this is heavier than the Dzire, because the Dzire has a sunroof, and that sunroof mechanism eats into the headroom. But I'm fine with eating into the headroom, because when the car is static, you can open the sunroof and have unlimited freaking headroom. Yeah, that's also awesome. Now, the tank size is really small here, just 35 liters. Yeah, fuel tank capacity is really chintu mintu. Honda usually ends up, even all the Japanese manufacturers believe you should give a very small fuel tank, thereby saving weight there as well. But the mileage is fine, so I'm not going to complain much about that. Let's put it around the corners. Yeah, the mid-range really disappoints me. There's no grunt. With turbo petrol engines, obviously the turbo kicks in and then it pushes you forward in the mid-range. That's so exciting. Not here, but then the Dzire does not have a turbo, so I can't complain and say that, this car doesn't have it. But the Dzire has CNG, and obviously Maruti is offering a turbo in other cars of theirs, so that is what it is. Listen to the sound. 4-cylinder definitely sounds better than a 3-cylinder engine. Anyways, I estimate this car will go from 0 to 100 km per hour in approximately 14 seconds, which is okay considering the segment. I think it's faster than the Dzire. 1 cylinder really makes a big difference, because more power, baby. Yeah, 8 horsepower more, which is quite fantastic. Let's take a turn here. I'm getting so confused. Goa roads are narrow and you are wondering where are you going. So we're going to launch the car and see how fast it goes from at least 0 to 60 kilometers per hour. And off we go. The car is too slow to reach 100 kilometers per hour on this road, and it's too narrow also. So the mileage of the manual is 18.65 kilometers per liter. The automatic will give you 19.46 kilometers per liter, which is amazing. Meanwhile, you see the Jazz there. That is a car which Honda should bring to India. They should realize that the iconic nameplates deserve to be in India. Then only they'll be able to sell in better numbers, because last month Honda sold just 780 units of the City. Meanwhile, the Elevate did, I think, around 1500 units, and the Amaze did around 2600 units. Under 5000 units is the sales of Honda in India right now. Around 5000 units actually, which isn't that great, and that is largely because Honda is like, we will not get more cars, and when they'll get it, it will be too little too late. That's another problem. And sunroof should have been there in this car, because Honda was amongst the first to offer sunroof. WRV had a sunroof, Jazz had a sunroof. Yeah, that is absolutely crazy. So guys, if you like this video, make sure to give the thumbs up. That's a like button. As I see it, the Amaze is quite impressive. However, the Dzire has moved the goalpost so further ahead with a sunroof, 360-degree parking camera, and 5-star rating from Global NCAP, that now everyone is like, tinka dabba to bol nahi sakte, Tata गाड़ी लेने की जरूरत नहीं, अब तो हम Dzire लेंगे. And that is what is the comment nowadays on most of the posts, that we are going to buy a Dzire, put it in Uber and be safe as well. If you like this video, whatever, don't forget to check out this awesome car perfume from Invol Essences. This is the Invol Gel Atlantis. You can get yours with a 10% discount using coupon code FASTBEAM. Click on the top right corner of the screen right now. Bye. OMG, I forgot to tell you about ADAS completely. Lane keep assist, forward collision warning, all those things are there. LVD is also there. Lead vehicle departure alert, don't pronounce it. But it's not called lead vehicle departure alert. It's called something else in Honda terminology, which is obviously better word than saying LVDA. Anyways, so all the ADAS systems are there obviously here, naturally. And the best one is obviously the lane watch camera, which is quite cool, because when you give an indicator, it obviously shows you that as well. But did you notice ADAS did not even kick in once in this whole drive right now? Now it's saying forward collision possible, because I had turned off the traction control. If you turn off the traction control, the ADAS system obviously gets disabled as well. But Honda's way of notification is actually quite nice, and the system works well if that's the thing you kind of like. Bye. But picture abhi baki hai mere dost, because now we are in the CVT. You notice those three things which Honda is promoting the car with. That is actually coming from the tail light. Straight away I come into drive mode and off we go. It's super duper smooth. 180 kilometers per hour is what the top speed is written till, but it's going to be electronically limited to, you guessed it right, just 140 kilometers per hour. Just amaze things. And why is this car not short enough to be able to cross this smoothly? If this was a sports car, we could have easily done it. Now in terms of convenience, obviously a CVT is better, but I feel, when you accelerate hard, it just doesn't move. It absolutely does not move. The rubber band effect is obviously there, kind of feels slow there, and it's slightly heavier as well because a CVT gearbox will be slightly heavier, but convenience is definitely there. Then there's a sport mode here which just makes it slightly more eager to drive, and then we have got paddle shifters as well. Yeah, I'm just making late turns because I can. So paddle shifters, nothing happens here with the paddle shifter because, yes, you guessed it right, that it's not able to give me any gear. It's already in a lower gear, so that does not work at all. But yes, CVT is kind of popular just because people want an automatic for the convenience sake. And now manual mode, let's go. Triptronic function should have been there, would have been so cool. It just makes a lot of sound, doesn't really move as such. Yeah, paddles are like gimmicky fun, not really helping in that regard, which begs the question, why would you actually buy a CVT? The drive experience is very similar, just gives you the convenience and slows down the car, because the car is a lot slower when compared to the manual. Manual is so much more engaging. The CVT has a big benefit if you want to do something quirky, which I'll show you right now by stopping here in Jhadi ke piche. Here I'm just going to come, stop the car, get out of it, shut it. Before that I need to roll down the window obviously. And now I will show you the biggest USP of the CVT, which is none other than pressing this button, keeping it held, and now in 3, 2, 1 the car turns on. Yes, the door also opens. So yeah, that is a USP of the CVT. So if you like that kind of thing, yeah, that is kind of cool. And this is obviously red colored, which means it looks fast, but it is not. Bye bye.